Hi there. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial, I've got a scalloped tag topper punch treat box. I'm calling this a 2468 scalloped tag topper box. I love any project with our tag topper punches, especially the scalloped tag topper. It will be retiring as of May 3rd of 2021. So I'm just throwing in a couple last few projects using that punch. It's one of my all-time favorites and also one of my all-time bestsellers as well. This project features items from the Ice Cream Corner Sweet Collection, and I just love the way that this looks. It's so fun. I love the little ice cream cone. I created that ice cream cone from designer series paper, believe it or not. This box is so easy to make, and you can get 2 of these out of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. So let me show you how. I'm starting with a piece of purple posy cardstock, which will also be retiring as of May 3rd, 2021. And this piece measures 8.5 inches by 4 7/8 inches. And on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score this at 2, 4, 6, and 8. That's where it gets its name from. I'm going to rotate it clockwise, and we're going to score this again at 2. And then I'm going to make some score lines that are just in specific sections. So I am going to score at 4 inches, but I'm going to skip this first section at the top. I know it's hard for you to see the score lines on the camera, but I'm sort of lightly tracing. I'm not pressing, but I'm going to drag the stylus down from that 4-inch spot, and then I'm going to score in the second section, and I'm going to do the same thing in this bottom section, but I have found that it's actually easier to flip the cardstock, and then I can score from 4 all the way down to that second score line. So, and if you want to, you can come back in and reinforce this score line as well, but I just want to show you, I'm only putting a score line in this section and this section. So let me flip it over. We did our 2, 4, 6, and 8. I rotated it clockwise, did it at 2, and then at 4 inches, I only scored in this section and this section. Okay, now I'm going to rotate it back, but this time counterclockwise. We've got those 4-inch score lines here towards the top, and then I'm going to score at 3 inches, but then I'm going to stop at that 4-inch score line, or that horizontal score line, and then at 7 inches. This is going to give us starting points for our diagonal score lines. You want to hold onto your stylus from the Simply Scored, or you can use the Take Your Pick tool, and then I'm going to come in with a metal ruler. Let me grab the template so you can see what we're doing here. So again, we did the 2, 4, 6, and 8, rotated it clockwise, then 2 inches, and then I did the 4-inch score lines just here and here. Now, if you wanted to alter the height, here's a different version where the height was a little bit taller. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to score 2 inches from the left and 7/8 of an inch from the right. That will allow you to expand this section if you want to. Everything else will be the same as far as the 3-inch and the 7-inch, but it is easy to adapt the height of this treat box. So with the diagonal score lines, we're going to start with our stylus at the bottom of that short score line, and then with a ruler, I'm going to score on the diagonal down to this intersection of score lines, and that's how we're going to do those diagonals in these 2 panels. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So we've got our diagonal score lines like so. The next thing we're going to do is do our punches. Now, any of our tag topper punches will work. I'm choosing to use a scalloped tag topper punch, and I am going to line up this left panel here. This is a 2-inch wide guide that's here, but we're actually going to feed our cardstock in, and you have to kind of put it in an angle to then feed it into this tag topper. So see how it kind of slides into there? So then I'm going to flip this over, and what I want to do here is make sure that I'm in that far section, and I'm going to center from the left and the right on either side of that scalloped tag topper punch. Then I can punch. And then we're going to do the same thing in this section. It's basically the sections that we didn't do those diagonal score lines. Again, feeding it through the punch, and then I'm going to use those 2 vertical score lines as my centering points. So I'll center those and punch. And now it's going to start to look like this, okay? The next thing I'm going to do is fold and burnish on all the score lines. And then we're going to come in and start to do some cutting away. So the first thing I'm going to remove is this lower right rectangular corner. And I'm also going to come in on this side tab and notch. And then remove that section completely. Then I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines, stopping at the horizontal score line. Like so. Okay, we're going to come in now, we're going to remove some of the bulk as well as these sections on the top, but we're going to use the paper trimmer for that. So bringing in the paper trimmer with the scallops towards the right, I'm going to line up the left edge at the 4-inch mark. Then I'm going to use the cutting tool and cut those sections away. Lift up the guide and then cut the rest of the sections away. Like that. Then I'm going to rotate it this way. Now, the sections that have the scallops, fold those out of the way because we don't want to cut those. We want to cut the sections that are just beneath those diagonal score lines. And then I'm going to line up the right edge, and if it's easier, fold this tab behind so you get a flat edge at the top. I'm going to line up the right edge at the 1-inch mark. And that's just going to remove some of the bulk from the bottom of the box. So we'll have something that looks like this. Now what we can do, since we cut those sections, we can actually fold and burnish on those diagonal score lines. And what we want to do is do a little bit of mitering here. So I'm going to fold these big sections out of the way. We're going to miter these 2 half tabs. And then I'm just going to come in and miter right here on that side tab. If you have any cleanup that you need to do here, sometimes the punch leaves some little paper fuzzies behind. And I'm just going to come in and clean up anything that's left behind there. All right, now I've got 2 pieces of the Ice Cream Corner Designer Series paper. Both of these pieces measure 1 7/8 by 1 7/8. And with liquid glue, I'm going to adhere them just beneath the scalloped toppers. Just like so. Now we can go ahead and adhere the box. I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to fold on the second vertical score line from the left and apply liquid glue to that side tab. And then I can fold on the first vertical score line from the right, and those should line right up. Now, this is where our seam is, so this is the back panel. I'm going to fold the larger flaps out of the way and fold the smaller ones in. Now you can see here why we remove the bulk, so those don't overlap. Put glue on those tabs and then glue on this front tab. Then I can fold the back tab over the short tabs, then the front tab. And because we have liquid glue, we can slide everything into place. I'm going to then put the glue cap on my glue bottle and press from the inside. And then we've got the start of this adorable treat box. Now in this version, I added a Ferrero Rocher, but Hershey's Nuggets would fit in there, a Lindor truffle, all kinds of cute little treats. The Ferrero Rocher is just a little bit of a tight fit, but it still works. And then I'm gonna cut a 6-inch length of the Blackberry Bliss 3/8 of an inch striped ribbon. And this is how I like to do the ribbon pulls on these tag topper punches. So I hold my ribbon straight like this, and then I'm gonna fold from both ends. You see how we're doing that? It's like a support ribbon, but I'm flipping these in the same direction, and then I'm gonna basically put the tails together, but I think you can see how that's sort of looped. I'm gonna feed this through the back, then through the front. Don't pull your loop all the way through, and then those tails then come back up through the loop. It's a quick and easy way of doing what I've referred to as the Vera Bradley ribbon pull. There's another way to do that as well, but that one's actually a lot easier. And what you'll see is you have a nice smooth finish on the front and a nice smooth finish on the back. So I'm going to come in and just trim the tails. And that is set and ready to go. Now to decorate this treat box, we're going to be using the Sweet Ice Cream Bundle. That's the Sweet Ice Cream stamp set paired with the Ice Cream Cone Builder Punch. And then I'm also going to bring in the Retiring Classic Label Punch. We'll use this to punch out the sentiment. But to start, there's these really great patterns in the designer series paper. This one is perfect for a waffle cone, and there's quite a few sheets in different shades of this watercolor wash, and each of these can be used to punch out an ice cream scoop. So I'm just gonna pick one here, and if I need to, I can just kind of isolate. I love the variegation in this one, so I'm just gonna come in, sort of cut that out. Doesn't need to be perfect. And I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool because I'm going to start to feed this in the punch. And then what I can do is take the putty end of my Take Your Pick tool and move that around to where I want it. And once I have it there, I can then come in and punch. And how cool is that scoop of ice cream? Then using that punch, I'm going to come in and punch. Just be strategic about where you punch here. I'm going to punch a waffle cone. How cute is that? And think about how many waffle cones you can get out of that sheet of 12 by 12. So I'm just gonna pull in the silicone mat because I am gonna use a little bit of adhesive here. I'm just gonna put some adhesive just along the top of the ice cream cone. And then I'll take the scoop and just lay that over the top. I'm doing the cone just a little bit smaller so that this will fit on the front of the treat holder. Then I can come in and put glue on the back. And I'll apply that to the front of our treat holder. So cute. Now with this sentiment, I'm gonna stamp the sentiment, "You're so cool," in Blackberry Bliss on basic white cardstock. All right, then we're gonna come in with the classic label punch, and that will fit just right in that punch. So I'm gonna center the sentiment. And then I'm gonna bring it back in and feed it from the left side. And I'm gonna basically only bring it in about a little diamond shape and punch, and that's gonna give me a banner end. I'm gonna turn this around and we'll repeat the same thing on the opposite side. There we have our cute little banner sentiment. I'm grabbing a trio of mini dimensionals. Then we can pop that up by laying that over the ice cream cone. And then for the final touch, I'm just gonna grab a rhinestone basic jewel and put that off to the left for a little glistening ice cream scoop. So there we have our 2468 tag topper treat box using the Ice Cream Corner Sweet collection of products. And on my live stream this week, I also shared this coordinating card. It also uses the scallop tag topper punch for a quick and easy fancy fold card. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects every weekday to inspire you. And if you don't want to miss a thing, you can subscribe to receive blog updates via email, and you'll receive an email each time I publish a new post. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and it's a great way to fill your wish list for less. You can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join, and I'd love to welcome you to the Stampin' Up! Family and my team of Paper Pixies. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like complimentary copies of our current catalogs, you can submit a catalog request at thepaperpixie.com/happymail. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #PaperPixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.